think I'm gonna fart. Really, your serious faces are creeping me out. But anyways, before I tell you what my talk is, I would like to ask you 2 questions, okay? 2 questions. Don't worry, it does not involve general knowledge. It's a yes or no question, okay? You raise your hand if it's a yes, okay? If it's a no, don't move. Question 1. How many of you dislike hypocrites? Raise your hand. Great, everybody. Second question. How many of you are hypocrites? Okay, you have a lot of courage. Just very few people, but you have a lot of courage raising your hand. So, I'm here today to prove to you that everybody is a hypocrite. So you're not leaving this room until you realize that you're a hypocrite. Okay? So let's begin. What is hypocrisy? Lonnie Lee, one of the few people who strongly believed that everybody is a hypocrite, defined hypocrisy through a formula. Hypocrisy is equal to belief minus action. The degree of hypocrisy is equivalent to the value of the difference between your belief and actions. You can say that if you want to sound smart, but in simple words, hypocrisy means if your beliefs are not congruent to your actions, you're a hypocrite. Okay? I can give you innumerable examples of how disgustingly hypocritical we are on a daily basis. But since I have very limited time, I will give you just a few situations that are prominent in the society. And when I place those situations in front of you, I want you to think and ask yourself if you are one of those people that I'm talking about. Here we go. Prostitution. So if a prostitute passes you by, you give them the death stare. You stare at them like they're not normal people. That's okay, that's totally fine, because they're not normal people. Normal people are privileged with choices. They are not. In Asia, children at the age of 10 are sold to men by their parents. In India, children at the age of 12 to 15 are abused, manhandled, drugged, so that they will not escape this profession. They crave for the privileges that we take for granted, like education. So if a girl enters an institution saying that she wants to study there, and by chance mentions that she was once a prostitute, do you think the institution will allow her to study there? If the institution allows her in, do you think the society will be okay with that? You might know all of this. You might know that prostitutes don't have a choice, and you might claim that you would give them the respect and equality they justly deserve. But will you really? Will you talk to a prostitute in a public place? Will you sit next to a prostitute in church? Will you be okay with your children talking to them or sitting next to them? We are taught when we were young that it's not okay to judge. We preach to our friends that they have no right to judge us. We tell little children that it's wrong to judge, it's a sin to judge others, but don't we judge. We're actually waiting to judge, but not willing to be judged. And that is hypocrisy right there. Donald Trump, you know him? Very interesting personality. Okay, so he said that a woman who commits abortion is a murderer, and she must be punished as that of a murderer. We all know that abortion is wrong. It's, well, inappropriate. But have you ever thought of the pain and struggle that a woman goes through when she reaches that decision? Have you ever thought that maybe out of the number of tribulations that she goes through, maybe abortion might have been her best option? Have you ever, for a moment, put yourself in her shoes and felt the fear and agony? that she feels. You must feel that Donald Trump is a moral man. He is filled with integrity. You must feel that way. That's great. If you don't know the fact that this is the same man who ridiculed autistic children and mimicked a handicapped reporter as a matter of a joke during a conference, because it's funny. But at the end of the day, we're all Donald Trumps. The actual difference between us and Donald Trump is that he's being watched and we are not. If our actions were watched and our statements were recorded, you'll realize that we're just like him, or even worse. So mocking or hating Donald Trump is like hating ourselves. So if you all were famous, and you make a statement in the public, and you make a statement to the public, and by chance, unfortunately or fortunately, you are found contradicting that statement with your action, you will end up being the most hated person on social media. People are going to make funny memes about you. People are going to lift you up and ridicule you to criticize the society. So my advice is that we should all steer clear from positions of authority, to avoid the drama. Rape. The word rape brings a lot of rage. It brings a lot of anger. That's great, because it's disgusting. It's pathetic. It's depressing. But the funniest thing is, the hilarious thing is that when it actually happens, there is no one there. No one to protect or fight for the girl. But when the damage is done, people out of nowhere come together and does a little performance, like writing big statuses on Facebook and changing profile pictures to black, conducting debates on it. I still remember the time when I had to write a 300 words essay on the Delhi gang rape. Oh, Aieysha, here's an essay, you just write about it. If these protests actually helped, if it actually made a difference, if these protests after the girl is dead really brought change, then 29-year-old Jisha and 23-year-old Soumya Vishwanath would still be alive. You might say that if you were there, things would be different. You might say that if you were there, caught in the scene, or you see this girl being raped, you would fight for her. Well, screw you. That's what they all say. Tell me that you would not be terrified at the sight of it. Tell me you would not see that and run for your life and be afraid. Tell me that you wouldn't freeze and you would know exactly what to do. You tell me all of that, and I will tell you that you are a hypocrite. Our society is drowning in hypocrisy, and we are going along with it so beautifully, like a dead fish. So when you deconstruct the concept of hypocrisy, it's the little things we do every day, on a daily basis. Those moments when we contradict ourselves with our actions, and then it builds up to something so big and unstoppable. Yes, hypocrisy is unstoppable because we live in a society. And as long as we continue to be a part of that society, we will always be hypocrites. See, when our surroundings change, our beliefs, our actions, our thoughts change along with it. That's basically how we evolve. So being a hypocrite is actually being human. But don't get me wrong. Out of all the bad qualities, all the bad habits like possessiveness, greediness, selfishness, laziness, hypocrisy is the ugliest thing that you can wear. And there are some who are more hypocrites than the others. Some being 90% and the others being 10%. So even though hypocrisy is unstoppable, does not mean it can't be reduced to a large extent. So how do we reduce hypocrisy? Look at the screen very closely, okay? I want you to read aloud. Can you say that out for me loudly? Yeah, okay. So you can say it, because it's not a swear word or anything. So yeah, it's actually BRAS. Each letter represents something. So I would like to rearrange the alphabet just for now, okay? It's actually bras, so just for now, I'm gonna rearrange to BRSA, mainly because I want A to come in the end, because I have a soft corner for it, and I want to save the best for the last. So let's start with B. B stands for brutal honesty. Brutal honesty. So how do I explain this to you who don't have it? See, already honesty is really difficult, and being brutal about it makes things worse. Brutal honesty simply means that stand firm to what you believe in, even if it offends the other. Brutal honesty does not mean being cruel, but to say things as it is without adding garam masala to it, right? So how do you be brutally honest? Let me give you a simple example. Is my butt fat? Yes, it is. If it's brutal, if it's fat, you tell me it's fat, right? You tell me yes, it's fat. If I ask you if I'm old, you tell me I'm old. Yeah, yes, you look old, and no cream is going to fix that, Aieysha. That's how you be brutally honest. That's a little thing. You start with the silly examples that I give you. Okay, now here's an interesting thing that you must know. Our society does not promote brutal honesty. It promotes the exact opposite. Lies. Lies like, dark skin is beautiful. They lie to us that dark skin is beautiful and then invented a cream called Fair and Lovely. And a cream called Dark and Lovely does not exist, okay? Right, and they lie to us that everybody is beautiful in appearance and made sure that only specific people are worthy enough to be in the front cover of Vogue or Femina or to be models. Skinny people. Not healthy, skinny. All right. Teach yourself the act of brutal honesty so that you can be true to others and most importantly true to yourself. Have you realized why society lies to us? They lie to us. The society lies to us because we lie. We lie every day that it builds up to something so big that it affects the society. So why do we lie? We lie because we are people pleasers. It's okay to be pleasing people. That's fine until you lose your entire personality by making the other live a lie. So, like I said, teach yourself the act of brutal honesty so that you can be true to others and most importantly, true to yourself. Learn it and you're sure to stand out because you possess that one trait that most of us lack. All right, next is R, right? R stands for reserve your judgment. Okay, so there are two types of judgmental people. We are most likely to fall under both. One day you're type 1, next day you're type 2, the other day you're both of them simultaneously. So, what is type 1? Type 1 are those people who talk about things they have zero experience about. Okay? They are often known as opinion raisers. They like to give their opinions or pass judgments on everybody, even though they have zero knowledge about them or any subject, to appear smarter or to be intelligent, to look intelligent or wise. Gossipers usually fall in this category. So here's my advice to all the type 1 present here. To be intelligent, or if you want to be intelligent, you have to possess a trait of an intelligent person, that is knowing when to shut up. To be wise, you need to talk less, because a wise man once said, nothing. Type 2. Okay, so these are the people who have a particular bad quality, and when that same bad quality is found on somebody else, they mock them, hate them, ridicule them, even though they have it within themselves. Right? Liars who hate other liars. Disliking hypocrites when you're hypocrites yourself. I think we're all type 2 today. So here's my advice to type 2, including me. Don't point at the dust in your brother's eye when you haven't taken out the log in yours. It's from the Bible. Read it once in a while. Okay. S. Show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. It's right there. I don't think I need to explain that. But it simply means this. Don't tell me that you're passionate about something. Show me. Don't tell me that you have a wonderful personality. Show me instead. In our society, there's a lot of talking and less doing. What we need is more doing and less talking. Right? So A is my favorite. Okay, so when I found out that I was a hypocrite. How did I find that out? So I was sitting isolated in a corner and thinking about how to destroy planet Earth. And then it suddenly struck me that I was a hypocrite. And I was so disgusted at myself, and I wanted to change so badly. So A is what I did. A stands for awareness. To be aware that you're a hypocrite. It simply means to know that you are imperfect, to know that you are filled with flaws, to know that you are in no authority to judge and only God can judge. And when you hit that point of realization, you become conscious of what you say and what you do. And when you realize those, you find that you're being a hypocrite, and then you become guilty, and then you make an effort to change. And that is when you're truly aware. And when you're truly aware, you spread the awareness. You tell everybody and anybody that they are hypocrites. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. Okay? So, that's the entire concept of A. Now, if you haven't done any of these 4 methods, then congratulations. You are among the 90% of the majority of the population who are big, fat hypocrites. If you don't want to be among the 90, you change now. Start now. If you can't do all of that, I suggest you do all of it. But if you can't do all of that, take at least one of the methods and put it really close to your heart and act on it every day, so that you're on the verge to be a better human being. A human being that the society desperately, trust me, desperately needs. So I'm gonna have to conclude now with a question, okay? How many of you would call yourself a hypocrite and dare and have the nerve to make an effort to change? Thank you.